Hello, Wyoming. This is Nathan Winters from the Wyoming Family Alliance, and today I'm asking for 8 minutes of your time to address an important topic that concerns children across the state of Wyoming. This topic is far from family-friendly, but after much prayer and deliberation, our team believes that this is the very reason why it needs to be confronted. We did our best to blur the images, but be advised that the topic that we're talking about is graphic, and so viewer discretion is advised. A hot-button issue in our state that needs attention is, believe it or not, libraries. We've often thought of libraries as safe spaces for education and entertainment. Many of us can remember a time when we were kids when our parents would set us loose in the library to read whatever we wanted in the children's section. Sadly, you can't do that anymore. A national group called the American Library Association, or the ALA, has a massive influence on which books go into local and school libraries. Now, if the ALA was an unbiased organization, this wouldn't be a problem. Many books are published every year, and no librarian has time to read them all and decide what belongs on the shelves. Librarians depend on recommendations from groups like the ALA to stock their shelves. However, in recent years, the ALA has been transforming into a more and more woke and Marxist organization. The current president of the ALA is a self-proclaimed Marxist, and she has argued for years now for, listen to this, queering the catalog. So, what does that mean? In part, it means a huge increase in LGBTQ+ activism towards children. Queering the catalog looks like this. Every year, the ALA puts out a rainbow reading list, a massive number of books recommended from birth to high school that advocates for transgender lifestyles. Every year, hundreds of books are added to this list, and in 2023 alone, 188 new books were recommended to be added to library shelves. For preschoolers, the ALA recommends Bye Bye Binary. This book features, mind you, a baby who is ready to smash gender norms and won't identify as either a boy or a girl. Clearly a subject being pressed upon children by adults with an agenda. Middle schoolers are recommended a book called Sex, which claims to be a quote-unquote comprehensive graphic guide for teens on nearly everything they need to know about sex. The key word in that sentence is graphic. While it presents itself as merely sexual education, in reality it is pornographic. The book encourages middle schoolers to watch pornography and to experiment with different sexualities. The author even scoffs at the idea that pornography is addictive. This book is present in the teen sections of at least 3 public libraries in the state of Wyoming. It gets worse than that. There is another book by the same author called Sex is a Funny Word. This book is pretty much the same thing, but it's geared toward an even younger audience. And as a father, it breaks my heart, and I want to warn you that what I'm saying is very disturbing to me. On one page, it features an illustration of an 8-year-old girl masturbating in a bathtub. And this book was found in the children's section of at least 11 Wyoming libraries. An older book, but no less graphic, is 2014's Gender Queer. This book is, quote-unquote, a memoir of a woman who longs to be a man. This graphic novel, found in the teen and young adult sections of at least 11 Wyoming libraries, contains frequent nudity and very graphic sex scenes. The ALA's public opinion on this book is that some only claim that it is sexually explicit. But the truth is that we can't even show you pictures from this comic book because if we did, this video could potentially be deleted off of YouTube. The modern Marxist ALA is pushing this stuff on our children. What is the point of all of this? This is all part of a much larger effort that has been going on for years within the American Library Association. And as I said earlier, the current president of the ALA is a self-proclaimed Marxist. Marxism is a belief system that, as crazy as it sounds, sees families as products of capitalism and therefore seeks to destroy them. Giving age-inappropriate books to children behind their parents' backs is one way this can happen. Why are Wyoming libraries taking orders from a group that advocates for this? Now, some may respond that the ALA presidency is an unelected position that only lasts for a year. But this issue is just the tip of the iceberg. The fact that someone like this was chosen to be the president of this organization shows a long and broad agenda to push these radical ideas. Over the past 10 years, the ALA has been moving in this direction, pushing not only radical gender ideology, but also critical race theory with its well-known Marxist roots. This group has a tendency to call anyone who opposes their position on these books book banners. But nothing could be further from the truth. It's important to note that we are not advocating for book banning. We believe in freedom of speech, free expression, and freedom of the press. What we do argue for, though, is book curation. There are books that simply do not belong in an area for children. Years ago, people understood that there should be a rating system for movies and video games. Reasonable people understand that some material is not appropriate for children. Books ought to be treated the same way. Obscene books do not belong in the children's section, and any reasonable person can tell that the pictures in these books are obscene. And if someone won't admit that, they should not be curating our libraries. Sadly, we've heard from many parents that they are no longer comfortable bringing children to the library anymore because these books with a clear sexual agenda are spread throughout the other children's books. And this is tragic because even as the left loves to talk about creating quote-unquote safe spaces, by filling children's libraries with LGBTQ+ instruction books, they have eliminated a safe space for parents to bring their children. Likewise, parents have a right to have a say in what their children are reading in schools. It isn't right for schools to push age-inappropriate content in front of children, and it isn't right for them to hide this from parents. It is time for Wyoming to decide what books belong in our libraries. The American Library Association has lost the right to choose for us, and thankfully there is a solution. The Montana State Library Commission recently chose to separate itself from the ALA because of its Marxist agenda. This gives local Montanans the right to have a say in what belongs in their library. In Campbell County, in northern Wyoming, they have done the same thing, giving the same rights to citizens of Gillette and the surrounding areas. Our governor, Mark Gordon, is considering doing the same thing for the whole state. Please join us in encouraging him in his stance against Marxism. We want you to partner with us in standing up for Wyoming families. Please help us. Visit our website, wyomingfamily.org, wyomingfamily.org, to learn more and to sign a petition and send a message of encouragement to our governor to take this important step. We can take back control of our own libraries. Let the ALA know that Wyoming is not a Marxist state and that libraries should be safe spaces for our children. And then please help us get this message out. Share this video with your family and friends. Let's come together for Wyoming families.